Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we exhume the inconvenient truths that official histories politely bury. Today, we revisit a nautical nightmare from the Six-Day War, the USS Liberty, a U.S. Navy ship pummeled for 75 minutes by Israeli forces in broad daylight, despite flying the American flag large enough to carpet a ballroom. 34 sailors dead, 171 wounded, and the verdict? A tragic accident. One might chuckle at the irony. In the fog of war, apparently, no one can spot Old Glory from 200 yards. Or perhaps the fog was manufactured in Washington and Tel Aviv. This isn't just a tale of friendly fire. It's a masterclass in geopolitical gaslighting. Strap in. The truth, as we'll see, floats to the surface eventually. To set the stage, rewind to June 5, 1967. The Six-Day War erupts. Israel's preemptive blitz against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. By day 4, Israeli forces dominate the skies and sands, but the eastern Mediterranean remains a powder keg. Enter the USS Liberty, a 455-foot, 10,000-ton technical research ship. Washington speak for a floating eavesdropper bristling with antennas to snag radio chatter from the chaos ashore. Officially neutral, she's patrolling international waters 13 miles off the Sinai coast, chugging at 5 knots under a blazing sun. Her captain, William McGonigal, a no-nonsense veteran, knows the risks. We're operating near a very hot war, he warns the crew that morning, where anything can happen. The men, 294 strong, mostly young sailors, feel oddly safe. After all, she's unmistakably American. Hull number GTR-5 painted bold, a 5x8-foot stars and stripes snapping in the breeze. Israeli reconnaissance planes have buzzed her since midnight, close enough for the crew to spot the Star of David and wave cheerfully. One pilot even radios home. It's an American ship? Response? No sweat, sir? 8 hours of flyovers. If ignorance is bliss, these pilots must be euphoric. Noon brings lunch and leisure. Off-duty sailors lounge on deck, shirts off, soaking rays. Lieutenant Lloyd Painter mans the bridge. Radar pings 3 high-speed surface craft, torpedo boats clocking 32 knots 16 miles out, and 3 jets screaming in. Routine, they think. After 8 recon runs, what's one more? The belt cracks open. The lead Mirage fighter whips a 180-degree turn and unleashes rockets, cannon fire, napalm canisters. Look out, a voice screams. He's shooting! Officer James N. is on watch, is hurled against the railing, legs shattered, blood pooling. The deck erupts in flames. Sunbathers scatter naked, some shredded by 30mm rounds. At least a dozen planes, some unmarked, all Israeli, pound her for 30 minutes straight. Holes gape in the hull, antennas crumple like tinfoil. The air assault barely ebbs when 3 torpedo boats roar in, 25 minutes late to the party. Cannons blaze. One fish slams starboard at 550 yards, vaporizing the intelligence compartment. 25 men gone in a flash. The Liberty lists hard, engines cough out. The boats circle like sharks, machine gunning firefighters, stretcher bearers, even the life rafts tossed overboard. One sailor, Russell David, hauls up a massive 7x13-foot flag and blinks USS Liberty, U.S. Navy ship in Morse, only to catch a burst that drops him. Lieutenant Commander Philip Armstrong, flames licking his heels, rolls burning gasoline drums into the sea and perishes. Dr. Richard Kiepfer drags the wounded through hails of lead. Helmsman Francis Brown slumps dead at the wheel. David Lucas shoves his body aside and steers through the inferno. Captain McGonigal, gut shot and trailing blood, staggers the length of the ship, directing damage control. He earns the Medal of Honor for it, quietly, without fanfare. Jamming blankets 5 emergency frequencies, but radio man Wayne Smith rigs a makeshift antenna and blasts an SOS. The USS Saratoga picks it up, scrambles jets, only for them to be inexplicably recalled. Twice. The barrage drags 75 minutes, ceasing perhaps only when word leaks of the 6th Fleet closing in. Torpedo boats finally signal, "Do you need help?" The crew's retort, unprintable. Casualties, 70% of the crew hit. 34 souls adrift in a metal charnel house. What evidence screams from the wreckage? 8 hours of Israeli surveillance, documented, undeniable. Flags waved like surrender banners, hull numbers gleaming. Radio intercepts, pilots confirming American ship hours prior. Post-attack, Israeli boats photograph the carnage up close, no mistaking the stars and stripes. The Liberty's profile? Nothing like the Egyptian horse transports Israel later blamed. Napalm on the bridge, machine-gunned rafts, tactics of deliberation, not blunder. And that jamming? Precise, targeted. As one CIA analyst later quipped, without precedent in American naval history. Official inquiries? A farce wrapped in red tape. The U.S. Court of Inquiry, top secret and rushed, wrapped in 10 days, insufficient evidence of motive. Israel's report, classified and hoarded, blames a series of errors: misread speed, 5 knots is 32, invisible flags, botched ID. Leaked in 1980, it dismisses crew accounts as exaggerated. The NSA probe, still buried. No congressional hearings, no public crew testimony. Washington, fresh off Vietnam drafts, couldn't afford the optics. Dean Rusk, Secretary of State, fumed privately. I never believed the Israeli explanation. Clark Clifford at a National Security Council huddle, inconceivable that this was an accident. Lucius Battle, incomprehensible. Yet publicly, crickets. Survivors gagged and dismissed the attack with no one. Jets recalled on LBJ's nod per whispers. Post-retirement confessions pile up like indictments. Admiral Thomas Moorer, ridiculous to call it an accident. Congress should investigate. CIA's Richard Helms, not an accident, drawing a pretty long bow. General Marshall Carter, the Israelis knew it was American. George Ball, deliberate, full stop. Even Lyndon Johnson's press secretary, George Christian, no one in the White House believed it was accidental. The State Department file, declassified decades later. Israeli excuses untrue, impossible, or unlikely. Motive? Whispers of silencing U.S. monitors on Israeli war crimes in Sinai, or dragging America into the fray against Egypt. Cynics, and who among us isn't, see a classic all-American cover-up. Protect the ally, bury the bodies. The survivors' voices cut deepest. Enna's, leg-mangled, watched McGonagall silhouetted in fire, a captain who refused to quit. Kiepfer, the dock, hauling shattered men under fire. We were fish in a barrel. Lucas, at the helm amid the dead. I just kept her afloat. What else could I do? Golden, trapped in the engine room, took every job, expecting the end. We trusted our flag. Turns out it was just decoration. Meters and Brown, wrestling that giant flag into place before Brown's fall. Symbols of futile valor. These weren't spies or combatants. They were kids doing their duty, betrayed by the very powers they served. 70% casualties from a mistake? That's not error. That's erasure. Israel apologized, paid paltry reparations, $3.3 million for the dead, $3.5 for the wounded, $6.7 for the ship, pocket change for a blood debt. Washington, eternal silence. No reinvestigation despite Moorer's pleas. In the grand theater of alliances, truth is the expendable understudy. One can't help but smirk. If this was friendly fire, imagine the alternatives. The USS Liberty drifts on as history's ghost ship, a deliberate attack, plain as the flag they ignored, shrouded in accident to safeguard sacred cows. At the Stateless Standard, we don't buy the script. If this saga of suppressed valor stirs you, smash subscribe. We unearth these weekly, no holds barred. Comment below, accident or the cover-up that keeps on giving? Until next time, question the fog. The waters run deeper than they admit, and stay free.